Hey, welcome to the Introverted Conversations podcast. I am the irresistible introvert and your host, Carmen Renee. Hey, beautifuls. Thank you so much for tuning into the Introverted Conversation podcast, where we discuss everyday life and how we maneuver throughout life being an introvert. The challenges, the ups and downs, the good times and the bad times. And this is a safe space to vent, and it's a no judgment community. So in this episode 3, I would love to discuss the misconceptions of an introvert. And I would like to talk about embracing who you were created to be. But before I get into that, please let me share a quick personal story that I feel will lead into the topic of discussion. And so I just want to start off by saying you never know who you're going to meet that the universe will send to you to help you, to inspire you, and to help guide you along your journey. So last Friday, I flew to Dallas to attend this international beading and jewelry show. And for those of you who don't know, I design handmade bead bracelets specifically for those who are introverts, but also other lifestyle the bracelets as well. And so I met with some ladies there who I've never seen a day in my life. One of the ladies I met through a business mastermind that I'm part of. But nevertheless, I've never met her in person either. But when I tell you this trip was nothing short of amazing. At this point or season in my life, I only want to be around individuals who rock with me in real life and on social media. And so I would always say that, I have all of my friends. I don't need to meet anybody else. And as a social introvert, in which there are primarily 8 types of introverts that are mostly spoken about, that's a bad mindset to have. So me and these ladies got together and we all flew to Dallas from different parts of the state. We went to the show. We visited different vendors. We ate together. We shared together. And we talked about our craft together. And it was just such an amazing time. It was, if I had been knowing these ladies for years. And like I said, I never met these ladies a day in my life. And it became more of a business trip. It became more of like a friendship where we bonded over what we love to do, which was design and bead. There was no drama and there was no ego. It was just a really good time. And I can honestly say that you don't always get that, especially in the Black community. And I can say this because I am Black. Everyone is quite often always competing with one another and not helping one another. And that's why we struggle to, as a community, to get, further in life. But that's another story for another time. And so I do want to shout out Miss Dana Monet. Dana is the official bead boss and owner of Get Stone Accessory. She has a class called Beats to Business, and she is actually the person that put together the Beat Retreat in Dallas that I went on. And so let me tie that back into the topic of discussion about the misconceptions of an introvert, because I feel like my trip to Dallas helps to remove some of the misconceptions of the introvert personality. And so, in my opinion, most or some individuals perceive us introverts to be quiet and reserved because we have low self-esteem or a lack of confidence. No, ma'am, no, sir. That is very far from the truth. Another misconception that I hear is that people sometimes make the mistakes of thinking that just because a person is quiet, it also means that they're shy. But it's important to realize that there's a huge difference between introversion, shyness, and social anxiety. Introverts really just prefer to think before they speak. And we also don't prefer meaningless conversation. It's exhausting, y'all. Another misconception is we don't have fun. Hello. Survey says that's a lie. We just choose who we speak to and where our energy goes. Again, because it's exhausting, to some of us to have meaningless conversations. Another misconception is that, I've heard people say that we're weird, we're rude, and not so much. We're just always in our heads. Again, we think more than we speak. Another misconception is that we are fearful that people are going to talk about us. But the thing is, they talked about Jesus Christ. So who or why would we think that we are exempt from that? And another misconception that people assume is that we don't like people. In actuality, we love people. We just try to stay away from those who drain our energy. And let me share one more story. If you don't know, I'm an author. I'm a duopreneur, which just means that I have a 9-to-5 and I'm also a business owner. And I'm also a podcaster. And so I'm a member of this group called TSP, Traffic Sales and Profit. Traffic Sales and Profit is owned by Lamar and Ronnie Tyler. Their mission is to provide resources to Black entrepreneurs like myself to help us to build multi-million and billion-dollar businesses. And they are doing just that. So next week, I will be attending their annual business boot camp called TSP Live. And our keynote speaker just so happened to be the one and only Magic Johnson, along with other experts and speakers. And so I share this story to say that, do you really think I will be able to go to what I just mentioned, or do you really think I would go if I were all of the misconceptions that I just mentioned? No, I wouldn't. And here's why. I've accepted who I am. I've accepted that I process energy differently from others. I've accepted that I have to find ways to manage my personality and emotions. I've accepted that everyone isn't for me, but who is for me will find me. And I've embraced my superpowers, as I like to call them, as an introvert. And you should too. You should too, beautiful. And I also stopped trying to be who I'm not. I've learned to manage my fear. And some of that fear, honestly, is from, fear of when it comes from me finally putting myself out there, right? And feeling like I wouldn't receive the responses or feedback that I need to make me feel good. Does that sound like you? Huh? And so trust me, you're not alone. I'm right there with you. And it's a struggle every day. People who are not introverts, at least some of them, they just don't get it, right? Things hit us differently, and things sting and burn a little bit longer than others. And that's one of many reasons why I started this podcast. That's one of many reasons why I wrote my book, which happens to be Amazon bestseller for a motivational short read. It's titled The Emerging Woman, The Nice Girl's Guide to Living Life Unapologetically. And you'll hear me speak about this book often because it's a mindset book. It's a guide and a workbook to help individuals like myself and you to emerge into our power and purpose. Most things that we do in life starts with mindset. And so I wrote this book for me and other women who want to do the surface work or the introspective work of really digging deep within and learning who we were created to be. And real quickly, I'll go over some of the names of the chapter. Chapter 1 is, what does the emerging woman mean? And it simply means giving the universe the gift of you. Chapter 2 is the emerging woman who, me, and it's about what you give to the world should not be faked or forced. Chapter 3 is titled, Who Are You? You get to decide how you want to show up. Chapter 4 is Discovering You. You are no longer shrinking yourself to be digestible to others. Chapter 5 is The Change. You know, when you change, some people just not going to like you. And some people you're not going to be able to take along with you in your journey. Chapter 6 is Increase Your Self-awareness. And that is getting deeper with your inner self. Chapter 7 is Connecting to Your Authenticity. That is character traits of an authentic person. And chapter 8 which is the last chapter, and that is Living Life Unapologetically and Enjoying the Experience. And so after each chapter, there are reflection questions that you have, or you have the opportunity to use my personal stories and experiences as a guide to reflect on your personal life and experience. So go and grab that because I feel like, or I know for sure, that it can help you in your journey of living life, with the introvert personality, right? Because no one took me by the hand and said, hey, here's how you run a multi-million-dollar business while being an introvert. Here's how you become a VP of your company while being an introvert. Here's how you maintain healthy relationships while being an introvert. And I'm not saying that, or I'm not coming from a place of saying that introversion is some type of disease. I'm just saying that we approach things differently because of our mindset, and that's perfectly okay. Right? And so I just want you to take with you that it is important to build relationships. You may have friends in your life that you have for years, but trust and believe that I'm sure you're not done meeting the people who are assigned to you to help and guide you along your journey. And there are misconceptions, as you know, about the introvert personality. Ignore those, shut out the noise, do what you are supposed to do. And so that's all I have for this episode. Please like and share this podcast with others. Don't be stingy. I'm sure someone who could benefit from this podcast and the conversations as well. You can follow me on IG and Facebook at I am Carmen Renee, 1E on Renee. You can also follow and stay up to date on when a new podcast episode is dropping on Facebook and IG at Introverted Conversations. If you would like to join the fun and be a guest on this podcast, hit me up at Carmen Renee at introvertedconversations.com. And lastly, I just want to encourage you to live and walk in your truth, ignore the misconceptions, live out your purpose, and be you. Why? Because everyone else is taking. Catch y'all later on the next episode or in these internet streets. Again, this is Carmen Renee of Introverted Conversations. Peace and blessings to you.